Welcome to your market update for June 2024 in the Coastal Maryland and Delaware. Hi, I'm Rich here. I'm your local Coastal Maryland and Delaware realtor. If this is your first time here, appreciate you coming by. So I'm going to go over all the actual market stats, numbers from our MLS, days on the market, medium sold prices, inventory, everything that you would want to know. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about what I'm seeing actually helping buyers and sellers every day here in the market. But without further ado, let's hop into the video. And we're going to check out the interest rate first. I'm on the Freddie Mac website, as you can see here. And of course, I'm recording this in August, so we're getting a little sneak peek on here, but we're going to go over June's interest rate there. But you can see this right now, it's been probably one of the biggest drops in a while. It's down to 6.47% for a 30-year fix, which is good. But let's check out June mortgage rates and what they look like then. It looks like starting out, we were right around 7%, 6.99%. Then it kind of fluctuated a bit, and towards the end of the month, it kind of ended around 6.86%. Of course, again, we're getting a little sneak peek here in August of what that looks like. Just keep in mind, I help out a lot of second homeowners or maybe a vacation home rental investments. So that could be, like close to a 1 percentage point higher than something like this if it was like your primary residence. But just check out a little bit what they say here. Of course, inflation's still up there. And also, let's see here, what they say is the decline in mortgage rates does increase prospective home buyers' purchasing power and should begin to pique their interest in making the move, which is true. We all know what a half a percentage point or a full point will do. And it looks like, of course, refinance applications are up by 42%, which is a lot. But that's your mortgage rate. So let's take a look at the numbers here. Of course, I have Worcester County, Maryland on the left, Delaware, Sussex County, Lower Delaware on the right. Days on the market right now, June, 49 days. So not too bad, still moving along. Of course, June and coming into July, usually it slows down naturally anyway. Then mid-August, it starts to perk back up into our second selling season. But over on the Delaware side, Sussex County, June days on the market, 45 days, a little less than Maryland. Coming down here, months of inventory, we got 3 months of accumulation in Worcester County and 3.8 months over in Sussex County. So still low inventory, technically a seller's market. But, in certain areas, every market's a little bit different, even in a small area like Coastal Maryland and Delaware. Some spots are moving a little faster than others, which I'll go over that a little bit more. But medium sales price, $442,000 over in Worcester County, 162 units sold in June. Over in Sussex County, medium sales price, $453,000, and they had 512 units that sold. Again, a lot larger county over up that way, I should say. So that's the actual numbers from the MLS. But let's hop into here. I want to show you some good charts from the MLS on some of the listings. I mentioned a little earlier that depending on the zip code and the market, it could be a little bit different. Let's check out Ocean City. There we go. Let's pull up a listing. Let's see if it's gonna. So all the way down on a lot of the listings, I'll actually show you per zip code of what's going on, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit more too, about what I've seen just helping buyers and sellers this past in June and not too long ago. But this is the home demand index. What I like about this, you can kind of see where the peaks and valleys are. 2024. And you can see they reference 2023 back in here. You can see a little how different the market was a bit. For me, this year has been moving along very, very well. Matter of fact, one of my best years. But quite a bit of my business has been more in Delaware, but quite a bit in Ocean City and surrounding areas. But this particularly is Ocean City. Still steady, it says, for the demand. Some things have slowed down a little bit, I think, more so because there's a lot of condos in Ocean City, and that market's been a little bit different because of a lot of the HB 107 with the reserve studies, special assessments, but still moving along pretty well. But you can kind of see this year in April, you can see that decline pretty quickly, a lot earlier than what it usually does. It usually goes into May, then June and July, it usually comes down. Just like if you look back here in June and July, it's a little less of a decline, but it's declining, and July is usually the slowest, which most markets are like that. Then you can kind of see it upswings in August, going into our second selling season. They call that September and most of October. But that shows you Ocean City there. Let's take a look at, while we're in Maryland, zoom out. Let's go a little further west. I just sold a listing over here in Salsberry not long ago. Nice house, nice neighborhood. And actually this one I had 8 offers on the house. Sold it within that week, about $36,000 above our list price, which we went pretty aggressive on the list price. Not overpricing it, but pricing it right, maybe a little bit lower, and it worked out well for both sellers and buyers. Buyers got a really nice house, but I'm just going to pull up a listing in Salsberry, Wycomico County, and you can kind of see their chart here. Same thing, little decline here, but no, their April into May looks a bit different than what it was in Ocean City, right? And of course, they got a lot more peaks and valleys on this side too, but you can see their rating here. It's still moderate, which is a little hotter than Ocean City with activity, I should say. Of course, it's been hot outside too, like an oven, and everybody's had a little heat wave. Let's go up in Delaware. Like I said, I've been doing a little bit more business up in Lewes, Delaware, new construction, even existing homes. But we're going to take a look at a listing real quick. And I said, look at their activity chart. Look at theirs. They're all the way up high activity. And you can kind of see their April, May. And still showing a little decline here, but again, overall activity, a lot of units being sold, houses. And I like these charts because you can kind of get a real good feel what's going on. All right, so hopping back in just to talk a little bit more about what I'm seeing, working with buyers and sellers, in coastal Maryland and Delaware, is kind of like what I mentioned before, particularly like in Ocean City. Things are a little slower with condos and in town in that particular area. Still steady, maybe just a little bit more complicated because a lot more condos. So it's just, if a certain building has special assessments coming up, that encourages some. Like I have a listing in one building where there was just 1 or 2 listings. Now there's 8. So that can kind of put some pressure on pricing, and probably the days on the market too. But not all buildings are like that. You just got to do a little bit more research up front and just know what you're getting into, mainly, with condos. But again, I just put a condo under contract, one of my listings. Like I said, took a little bit longer, just about going on 3 months with that. But found the right buyer, worked out pricing, and getting ready to go to settlement on that one. That was in North Ocean City. And in the same note, I had a single family home, large, in North Ocean City, Bayside, that sold in a weekend. So it really depends, and a lot more activity with buyers, helping buyers up in Delaware, particularly that Lewes, Delaware area. between new construction and some newer existing homes. I'm going to talk a little bit more about in my next market update about the big NAR settlement, National Association of Realtors settlement, and how things are changing with how like real estate commissions and some of the myths with that, and what they decide to do, how the forms are going to look, because that's rolling out actually in August 14th to be exact. Just how that's going to be displayed in the MLS, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's been a bunch of lawsuits from this past year, basically, sellers, basically saying, they didn't get a chance to negotiate the real estate fees, more so because the buyer's agent fee is usually pre-negotiated and in the initial listing agreement when they go into the market. But now they mandated to decouple that. Sellers can still offer buyer agent compensation, if they choose to, but it's at the time of the offer, so they can look at the offer price, and if they're asking for a seller concession for the cover their buyer's agent's fee, which is technically would be part of their closing costs now. Sellers can choose to do that, kind of like how it was handled before, but not quite exactly. It's not shared from the listing broker anymore. It's directly from the seller to the buyers. A little complicated. There's been different things tossed around, but I'm going to go over the exact how the forms have changed and what you can expect as a seller and buyer moving forward. Subscribe so you don't miss any of the content that I come out with every week. I'm going to break that fully down. And of course, if this market updates have been helping you out, click that like button, share it, and until next time, I'll see you soon.